Get down. This is how simple it is. For Larry to clinch, he has to advance 2 rounds farther than Kenny Bernstein today. And Bill Stevens is with LD.
Yep, the math is pretty simple. Larry Dixon now has a 110-point lead over Kenny Bernstein. But, Larry, you've got to tune all of that out and just do your job today.
Yeah, I mean, we're really, if we go in there, we're trying to win the race. And if we win the race, then I ain't got to worry about counting all them points and stuff like that. But, I mean, the fact of the matter is, we got over a 5-round lead. There's only 8 rounds of racing left. So, I mean, if we could go to the final round, it's going to be tough for him to pass us, and that's what we hope happens.
Remember in the spring, Larry Dixon went wire to wire here, winning the race after qualifying number 1, the Dave Reef.
For Kenny Bernstein, he is banking on 2 wins in 3 final events here at Las Vegas to get him back into this thing. But, Kenny, we're running out of time.
Well, it is. There's no question. This is the 11th hour. Today will probably determine the championship, or it could. Obviously, if Larry goes out early and we do well, we get to go to Pomona and talk about it some more. If Larry gets it done today and puts it away, then it's over. We go to Pomona and we have a party and we race and try to win. So you never know. But all the Bud King team can do, and Lucas Oil, Mac, is go out there and do the best we can, run as hard as we can with the conditions. Tim Richards, the best crew chief I've ever had. Believe me, we'll do the best we can.
Place your bets, but not on red or black, red or blue.
And KB's going to need some help. He's got a tough one. Shirley Muldowney, remember what happened in Columbus, and Larry's over on the other side. He's got Scott Wise, a guy he's never lost to in competition. Time to go racing. Well, we've documented what the points championship is all about. But what about the history that is on the track right now? Number 5 and number 6 on the all-time 50. And flashback to Columbus. Remember what happened there, second round? Shirley runs a 475 in the right lane to Kenny's 480. She took him out, and that was the 3rd time they met. This was earlier today, a private moment, because this will be the last time these 2 great champions will go face-to-face. Here's our Army driver profile. Between them, look at this. 6 championships for Kenny, 3 for Shirley. Look at the national event wins, the ranking on the all-time 50 top drivers. Shirley's won 2 of the prior 3 meetings, but she's going to have to come up with something big here.
This is a great matchup, Marty. We saw her win at Columbus, but different track conditions. It was hot, it was greasy, it was easy to spin the tires. It was a little bit more to Shirley's advantage. Here it's going to be horsepower. The track conditions here in Las Vegas are very, very good. Kenny Bernstein's been running very consistently, but he's still going to have to get it down the track. If he makes mistakes, Shirley could be there.
Wife Cheryl Bernstein. Can you imagine the lump in the throat, the knot in your stomach? Every round right now for Bernstein must win. It's over! Shirley's done it again! Husband Ron Togler, a career best in laps time. She lays on a 458 at 317, and the championship is over. Dave Reeve.
And for Tim Richards, what a way to go out.
Well, that's destiny, and her 458 probably would have beat what we had in there anyway, so he probably would have took a beating on that round because it's a tough deal. You know, we just haven't gotten a handle on this combination, and you never know.
Still one more race in the Forever Red Tour, though, guys.
Take another look as we take a super slow-mo.
Well, this is why you can't go by the numbers in qualifying. Today's a different day. You saw it go into tire shake and then start spinning. Actually had the rear tires off the ground. Kenny did a good job trying to get to recover, but with the tires that far off the ground, wasn't no contact area there. And there you see a little flash of fire right at the end as he tried to get the car to recover. Parker?
Ron Tauber, forever known now as the team that took Kenny Bernstein out of his Forever Red Tour Championship hopes. Wow.
Well, obviously that's our career best time by a long way. We've been struggling with a bad fuel pump this weekend. We had a couple of good runs that we thought were good, but the pump was holding us back, and really the car ran up to its performance level that time.
Fantastic. Marty?
Thank you.
Well, this was a moment ago at the far end. Shirley Muldowney, and she's with Bill.
You would have think Shirley Muldowney just won her 4th championship down here. A career best 458 at 317.
I kind of thought that it was going to be there for us first round. You know, my guys are like we found we had a bad pump on it last 2 qualifying runs, so we kind of just had to clean it up and see what we had first round. Kenny was so nice to me. The pre-race ceremonies, I'm almost sorry I did that to him.
Let the record show. Her career record against the King of Speed, 3-1.
And the engine comes to life now on Larry Dixon's Miller Lite Top Fueler. Mathematically, the championship is still up for grabs. Larry must go 2 more rounds than Kenny, but it would require Kenny basically to run the table at Pomona. #1 qualifier, maximum points, set a new elapsed time record. Very difficult to do in November at Pomona, but it could be done. So the pressure is still on that man right there.
You know, Marty, actually, I think the pressure's more on Dick LaHaye. Even though they saw Kenny Bernstein go out there and smoke the tires, they don't want to go out there and do the same thing. Back the thing down where they get the tire shake like they saw Kenny do. He wants to get this car from A to B.
Well, we're disappointed, of course, shaking the tires, and you know, you had to win here today and get some luck to win this championship. We needed a miracle by all means, but you know, I can't say enough about this race team and Tim Richards and Kim and the Bud King, Lucas and Mac. These people that have been with us for so long, and as hard as these guys work, and you know, my hat's really off to them. It's just one of those things. I said earlier in the day, you do the best you can. That's all you can do. And I want to thank the fans all over the country that have supported us for years, and we'll go over to Pomona and see if we can win a race and end it up that way. And I want to send out something special to my dad. You know, he's going to have an operation next week for liver cancer. And Dad, we're pulling for you, buddy.
It isn't over officially. It just sort of feels like it is.
And Bill, when Kenny Bernstein went out, the Miller Lite crew's faces, they were basically emotionless. There was no relief on their faces. If anything, they actually appear more nervous, but also more focused than I've ever seen them before. You know what's at stake at this stage in the game? They made a few changes in the timing box, and they're ready to go. They're in the zone for this run.
On the Snake Prudhomme, Dick LaHaye and Larry Dixon. And that is Scott Wise. He's never beaten him in 6 matchups. Larry's won them all. One down, 1 to go. 462 at 321. And the team's breathing again. Dave Reef?
Dick, we got into the timing box right before that run, and I think we're just playing this one smart.
I didn't hear a word you said.
So we got into the timing box right before that run. Looks like we're just playing it smart.
That's all we did. We slowed everything down to make sure it went down the racetrack, and just thank God for that win.
Looked a little bit nervous, so
I was plenty nervous, believe me. I've seen it happen too many times.
Well, go back to last year. It was right here where Larry Dixon did smoke the tires, and basically that gave Kenny Bernstein the last bit of momentum he needed to go into the 2001 championship. And now the tables have turned. Here's the points difference. 138 is the magic number. That's why 1 more round win, and it is all over. Mathematically, it will be Larry's. ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports and the exclusive home of the National Hot Rod Association, presents the $50 million NHRA Powerade Drag Racing Series. Today, from the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, it's final eliminations of the second running of the ACDelco NHRA Nationals. And the electricity that's still going on after what we've seen so far in Top Fuel, well, let's go to the top end, Bill.
Well, Larry Dixon, I'll bet that Lamaze training for the new baby came in handy on that run.
It's just, man, I told Shirley from Columbus, I owed her, I told her I'd mow her lawn for her. Now I think I might have to paint her house or something. I mean, you know, you can't take anybody lightly. You know, whether you're number 1 or 100 in the points, it's a strong deal. And it's just, now I can get back to just racing and not counting points.
All right, let's show you what else happened in round 1 of Top Fuel. Corey McClenathan, Rhonda Hartman-Smith. Rhonda in the right lane, closest to you. She hole shots Corey. 4th time he's lost this year in a hole shot. Rhonda 464 to Corey Max 463. Then on board with Tony Schumacher, he takes down Yuichi Oyama with a 459 at 326 miles an hour. What about the giant killer Doug Coletta? Well, he is maintaining pace. Takes out Melanie Troxel 459, 321. Melanie, you saw she had problems. And number 1 qualifier, Doug Herbert, he's in the left lane. He takes care of business. 462, 317 miles an hour. So it was a very stout first round of Top Fuel. Lane choice goes to Herbert. Muldowney over Schumacher. And then over on the right side, it will be Dixon over Rhonda Hartman and Andrew Cowan over Doug Kalitta. I don't know about you. I got to catch my breath. It has been one of those kind of moments. I mean, to have it come down where Kenny Bernstein and Shirley Muldowney, and Shirley plays a pivotal role.
Yeah, and what a great pass by Shirley Muldowney. A 458 down that right-hand lane. She had struggled in qualifying. I mean, you figure Kenny Bernstein, if he just goes down the racetrack, he's going to win. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to. He shook the tires and smoked them. But even if he had the thing hooked up, it was still going to be very tough to get around Shirley on that great pass she made.
Yeah, and this moment right here is so reminiscent. We talked about it. It happened to Dixon's team last year right here at Las Vegas. They hazed the tires. This year, the championship, a hazing of the tires for the red car. We've got two other divisions that could be decided today as well here at Las Vegas.
It's 21 down and 2 to go.
Championships are on the line, coming down to the wire.
Vegas would be the right place to make it a championship three-peat.
And there's the Paris here in Las Vegas, and we're getting ready to go racing again. Del Worsham's a busy man these days, besides being the driver of the Checker Shucks Craig and Funny Car. Del and wife Connie recently had twins. We talked to Del about his family and racing and how he is able to balance them both in this week's Powerade Profile.
My whole life, I always said I wanted to drive. Basically ran my mouth I wanted to drive. When I turned about 14 or 15, is when I knew for sure, hey, I want to drive one of these cars. Up to that point, I was just a kid saying, someday I want to drive. My grandmother gave me a 78 El Camino when I turned 16 years old, and that was basically the car I drove up until I drove a funny car. I tell the story, I'd never been 100 miles an hour before I got in a nitro funny car.
And the win light goes to Del.
Started off with self-preservation, and we really couldn't afford very much help, just my dad, myself, and one partner, so I had to work on it. That's how I got involved in the sport, was working on it. And then as time went on, I definitely developed a passion for working on it. I love to work on the car. It keeps my mind other places while we're trying to race. Now, I'm very involved with my dad, trying to keep this thing running.
That was close.
Basically, I get to do what I love, which is drag race, and be with my family. Having my wife and the twins, they're 7 months old now. That's a lot of work. It really is a lot of work, and it's not any added pressure, but it's harder to get away and spend as much time on the race car as I like to. Luckily, we have the motorhome, we have the bus, we're traveling around together, and that enables me to be able to put as much time as I feel I need to into this. But no, it's great. My grandmother, she, for the first time this year, she missed a few races. She's getting up there in the years a little bit, and her health is great, but she's not as stable as she once was, so we miss her. But no, it's unbelievable. I'm by far, I'm sure, the luckiest person in the world.
And he's third right now on the Powerade Points Championship, and Tony Pedregon is second in that chase. And, well, you know who is number one in the championship chase, and his name just happens to be John Force. They're up next. The point spread between John Force and Tony Pedregon is less than a round. Today, every single round of racing is critical. One slip and the other guy pulls away. And for these two, the pressure is intense as each is eyeing the championship.
The titanic battle for the Funny Car Championship continues. And John Force, at the beginning of the year, you hoped that both of your teammates would be close. Looks like your wishes came true, but you didn't want them this close.
Well, we're shooting 1, 2, and 3 with AAA, Syntec, Castrol, Ford. Bottom line, though, if you listen to the media and listen to you guys, they're not going to pull us apart. I got 3 great partners, and we're going to stay together, right, Pedregon?
That's right.
And as John looks for 10 in a row, his 12th overall, you don't care about that, Tony. You're just looking for championship number 1. I've never seen you so fired up on race morning as I have today.
Well, I understand the reality of it, and he's, we're chasing him. He's not chasing us, and we still have to go around him. But we are on opposite sides of the ladder, and we just need to take care of business. Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley are here at KISS. We're going to do some rocking and rolling today.
Tony told me earlier, it looks like John's got Tony in a headlock. Tony thinks he's got John in a headlock, Marty. This could go either way.
And the jets you hear from nearby Nellis Air Force Base, and you heard him talking about the ladder, opposite sides. Here's where John's located. He's up against brother Frank Pedregon, and there's Tony's first round opponent. It'll be Bob Gilbertson. Time now for Funny Car with John Force, and he's up against Frank Pedregon. These guys have bet 17 times. John has won 14 of them. Austin Coyle fighting the flu bug. In fact, it's going through the pitch. Jake Coughlin had it yesterday. Is still fighting it. Frank Pedregon, who celebrated his 40th birthday last Wednesday, as did Larry Dixon, who turned 36. He wants to give himself a present right here. Not going to happen. John gets it down. 492 at 3:04, and he throws the ball back into Tony's court and says, okay, teammate, take that.
Well, I think John Forrest might have been a little bit nervous. He went in deep, so deep he actually put the top light out. That killed some elapsed time. 492 obviously wasn't what they were looking for, but he probably took about 500ths of ET by staging deep. Watch the car here. It didn't make the kind of move it did towards the middle of the course like we've seen in qualifying. Consequently, only ran a 492. Got the win, but they're not going to be happy with that elapsed time.
So now it's Tony Pedregon's turn. He'll be over in the left lane against Bob Gilbertson. Here are the way the points stand after qualifying. Now, John has already advanced, so to keep pace, Tony must do likewise. Now, the thing to remember is Tony has had 5 first-round defeats in 2002, but so has John. So John's laid down the gauntlet, and Gilbertson, who was runner-up the 1 year ago here, likes this racetrack. Let's go to the far end. Bill's with John Forrest.
All right, a couple questions for you. First one, knocked out the top bulb. Why?
Well, I know that's Tony's brother over there, and that kid's going to try to take this old man out. And I hate running first, just over-anxious running first. But I think Coyle, whether we had the choice, wanted to run when it was a little bit cooler, starting to heat up. And I just want to get that round over with. But I'm excited just to win around here in Vegas. I don't do good here, but maybe today will be a different story. But both my boys are coming. And I do love Tony, and I do love Ditcham. But I'm still rooting for this old man. That's just the way it is.
I forget what my second question was.
All right, pressure is on for Tony Pedregon. There's John Medlin. He and Dickie Venables have turned this into the baddest hot rod in the last 5 races in this division.
And the key is they've been good in every kind of condition. We're seeing the track heating up a little bit. It's going to be a little bit trickier. You got Paul Smith, his crew chief in the other lane for Bob Gilbertson. He's pretty savvy running match races all them years. He knows how to get down a slick track. See what happens.
Tony's keeping pace. A 485 and 314. You saw Gilbertson go up in smoke, courtesy of the Sanyo Lightship, and you saw Tony take the win light.
Well, this was just a good run. I mean, Tony Pedregon on his game on the tree, a 460 reaction time, right down the middle, 259 miles an hour in the 8th. The track conditions are good. You see Bob Gilbertson smoke the tires there, but look at Tony right there. And it looked like he got a cylinder going out too, and still ran a 485. Nice pass.
So it remains 11 points separating John Force and Tony Pedregon in the chase for the Powerade Championship.
Tony, according to my unofficial stats, I think that's the 314th 485 you've run since Indy.
Well, that's good. We might need maybe a few more of those a day. Might do the job, but maybe not. If it cools off a little bit, we might need a little more than that. But right now, we're just another great car from Action Performance, a KISS car. They instilled a lot of motivation into me. They play the music. Grew up watching those guys. It's awesome to have them here. And watch John win, and we're just trying to keep pace with them. And we're right there. We're not going to go away. Not easy.
Rock on, babe.
Let's show you what else happened in round 1, a funny car. First up, Whit Basemore in the left lane, Cruz Pedregon in the right. Cruz is going to haze the tires. Whit's only going to run a 5:04 at 3:22, but that's going to be good enough to move on to second round. Now, the weekend did not start out very well for Bruce Sarver.
Bruce Sarver had a good pass going Friday night. Ignition problem caused this huge explosion just past half track.
He comes back to take the pole position yesterday, and then in first round against Bob Bodie, runs a 487, 300 miles an hour. Bodie was never a factor in this one. What about Gary Dencham and Dale Creasy? Well, Gary Dencham's going to get a shot at the boss. Dencham, 481, 321. He's going to have lane choice over John Force. And Ron Capps in the right lane over Scotty Cannon. Capps goes 489 and 316. Scotty gets it out of the groove right there, smokes tires, and is on the trailer heading home. Take a look at the ladder now, and you can tell you also that Del Worsham and Tim Wilkerson advanced. Sarver will have the lane choice over Wilkerson, Dencham over Force, and then on the right side, T-Pad over Del Worsham and Ron Capps over Whit Basemore. When we come back, Factory Hot Rods coming your way, and a chance for a championship to be claimed by Jake Coughlin. In 2000, Jake Coughlin Jr. started the year off strong, winning 6 of the first 7 races. This year, he's dominating the back half, winning 5 of the last 6. With the end of the season near, the results are shaping up to be the same in 2002, a Pro Stock Championship. And all Jeg has to do is take out Scott Jeffreyon in round number 1. There he is on the left side of the ladder. The arrow indicates who has the lane choice. Here's the right side as we're ready for the factory hot rods here. First round action at Las Vegas. So now we come to the moment where Jeg Coughlin can clinch the first championship of 2002. He's up against Scott Jeffreyon, a racer he has never lost to in 6 meetings. In fact, his first ever win as a professional came back in Dallas at 97 over Scott Jeffreyon, the man in the right lane, and he did it on a hole shot.
Yeah, you know, Scott, he hasn't qualified for quite some time, so he may be a little bit rusty, but Scott Jeffreyon, a very, very good driver. They seem to have a handle on the horsepower. That Ford's been making some good horsepower. Real good early numbers, but they haven't been able to run on the other end. So he's going to have to try to get that whole shot win and get out there early and hope that Jeg doesn't drive around him.
Scott needs to look back in the history books just to Gainesville. Darrell Alderman beat Jeg at the finals there, and he had never beaten Jeg before that. I mean, it was like 13-0 in favor of Coughlin, so it can be done.
Congratulations. I think the same goes you guys, man. Heck of a run this year. It's been awesome. We got a little work left to do today. The 93 is a good message this morning. And let's just keep it up and have some fun.
Dave Reef?
Down with Papa Coughlin, an improbable season, but just like you scripted, right?
I'll tell you what, it's just absolutely awesome. Team Jegs and Jegs mail order at home. I mean, it can't get any better than this. Our team and Jeg, he's the driver of the year for me. I'm sure of that. I love it all. This is for my mom. We're going to win this race for her.
That champion's coat will sure feel warm in Ohio this winter, guys.
Jeg Coughlin still in the Jegs mail order Chevy Cavalier began the season very slowly, did not win a race until the season was half over. We saw what happened in this class this year, the different winners not qualifying at the next race, but basically since Madison, this man has called the tune in Pro Stock. Congratulations, Jeg. You're the champ.
Well, I tell you what, Bill, it feels extremely great, and on behalf of Jegs and my entire family, who's just put an excellent effort together this year. Thanks to Powerade and NHRA, ESPN for such just a wonderful year, and to be crowned the first Pro Stock Powerade champion feels excellent. You know, this is for everyone back at Jegs and my entire family, who's just been awesome.
Jeg, what was the turning point? Until Madison, you were 240 points out of first place, and then suddenly you went wild.
Well, we're a young team, believe it or not, with our engine program that's come in-house. It's only about a year and a half old at this point, and my pop, as my crew chief, has just done a flawless job. Roy Simmons was new to the team this year. Clint Allerton came over from Troy's car. Rick Roster came from the truck team. Need I say more? We took a few races to gel. Nick Ferry and the entire group did a heck of a job on the engine program, and again, with 350 plus folks behind us at Jegs, we had a lot of momentum going.
For the second time in his career, the Pro Stock champ in the NHRA.
Thanks, man.
The win line, Jeg Coughlin.
Excellent job. Great job.
Jeg Coughlin in a hole shot.
You did it.
7 out of the last 10 races, that man right there has won.
You, buddy, you just took the points lead. Way to go.
Really promote him for the points lead. That's what matters.
He won the championship in 2000 by dominating the front half of the year. He wins this year, dominating the back half. Take a look at what else happened in round number 1 of Pro Stock. Kurt Johnson and Alan Johnson both advanced. KJ's got the lane choice. Ron Krischer actually ran quicker than Jeg. He'll have the lane choice in round 2. Warren Johnson over Tom Hammonds and Greg Stanfield over Gene Wilson in round 2 action. And it'll be time for Pro Stock Bike when we come back. Angelle Savoie looking for her 3P. Stay with us. Back here at the ACDelco NHRA Nationals at the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and you're looking down from the Sanyo Lightship. The electronics leader Sanyo is proud to bring us our aerial pictures from the Sanyo Lightship today. Sanyo, where digital excitement begins. Angel Savoy looking to make history by becoming only the second ever three-peat champion in Pro Stock bikes. But don't expect these guys to make it easy on her. They'll be trying to keep her out of the record books. Take a look at the way it shapes up in round number 1. Arrow indicates who has the lane choice. Number 1 qualifier with new track record was Matt Hines. Angel, right there on the right side, will run up against Karen Stouffer, the same person she beat in the finals back at Reading. And there's Craig Treble. He has to maintain pace. In fact, he's got to go 2 rounds farther than Angel to deny her the championship. Let's go back and show you what happened in round number 1 with Angel and Karen. And it really was not much of a contest. Angel runs 7:30 at 179. Karen runs into a bit of a problem there and fades into the distance. So now the pressure was on Craig Treble. Could he keep pace? He would have Tom Maselli in the right lane. Maselli goes red, hands it to him. Treble runs a 7:31 at 181 miles an hour. So the championship chase will continue at least into round number 2. When we come back, it'll be Top Fuel time here at the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Take a look at the ladder now, and Arrow indicates who has the lane choice. Doug Herbert over Darrell Russell, Shirley Muldowney over Tony Schumacher, Larry Dixon over Rhonda, and Andrew Cowan over Doug Coletta. And guess what? First pair out is going to be Larry Dixon and Rhonda Hartman-Smith. Now, these two have met 10 times. The only time Rhonda's ever beaten Larry, 5 years ago at Indy. And if Larry wins this round, the championship is over. There is nothing that Kenny Bernstein can do.
Yeah, but, just like Kenny Bernstein we saw in the first round, Dick LaHaye's got to be very careful. He's got to make sure he doesn't, back this thing down too much. Obviously, he's got to run pretty good. I mean, let's face it, Rhonda Hartman ran a 464. She did it in the right lane, so she's familiar with that lane. She seems to have a fairly good handle on it. Larry Dixon, on the other hand, he's been a machine. He's like Jed Coughlin this year. He's just been so good on the lights, just so consistent. And that's what he's going to have to do, and hopefully that car goes down the track and gets a win light.
You heard Larry talk about the fact he felt the pressure being off, even though it wasn't clinched. He knows he's so close. All he can think about now is just going back to race mode.
The thing about Larry, I mean, we haven't seen him react any differently to any pressure he's been under all year. I mean, he's just been flawless in his driving, and I expect to see the same thing, obviously, here, because, like you said, he hasn't clinched a championship. There is some pressure here, but I think it's more on the crew chief right now.
I think Snake's a little nervous.
Well, I think everybody's nervous. I mean, every round you're up there, you're nervous, but some more times than others. Dick LaHaye, I mean, he's as cool as they come as far as getting that tune-up right, but he's always got the nervous butterflies, too.
Bring out the Miller. You're looking at the 2002 Top Fuel champion, and his name is Larry Dixon. Dave Reef, are you down in that mayhem?
You know I am, Marty. Down here in the celebration is Don Perdome and Dick LaHaye exchange a very private moment right now. But for Dick LaHaye, this long season has finally endured. You are Top Fuel champion.
Wow, I'll tell you what, it's been what a year to have the lead that we had at the beginning and watch it dwindle away, and then having all these problems since July on and come back and win the thing. I can't say enough for the crew and Don Perdome and Miller Murray, and thank God for this season being over with almost.
Now they can let it all hang out and have a little fun.
For the second time in Top Fuel history, a driver has won the championship going wire to wire in the points. Gary Ormsby did it back in 1989, and now Larry Dixon, who was only a rookie in 1995. 7 years down the road, congratulations, Larry.
Thank you very much, man. I think I feel more relieved than I am excited right now. I mean, this has been such a deal. I mean, Kenny, that team is such a strong team. He's kept us kept us honest all year. Had to fight for my life. My wife, she's had to put up with it. Snake, everybody, Miller Brewing, Mac Tools, Lucas, all the guys that help us out. You know, U.S. Tobacco's on our car. I'm jazzed. You know, I mean, I've never been so excited winning second round. Thank you.
To Parker Johnstone.
And Bill, as soon as they get done, Snake, it's been 24 years. You won 4 consecutive championships. This one, as solely as a team owner, congratulations.
Well, thank you. You know, it's meant so much to me. You know, I still wear my championship ring from my days, but you know, to watch Dixon do this thing and the whole Miller Lite team, Dick LaHaye, I think the kid really proved this year that he's a hell of a driver. He's going to be somebody to be content with in the sport from here on out.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Larry Dixon started as a mechanic for, you got it, Don Prudhomme, and now he's his protege. Larry Dixon does it again. He has run the table. Low ET, #1 qualifier. He's done it all. Dixon's done it again. He has got 7 wins in 11 races. Unbelievable.
When I dreamed about coming to work for the Snake back in 1988, I never thought it would ever pan out to something like this. He's assembled quite a team. I'm just lucky to be driving his car.
Congratulations to Larry Dixon, and the race and the beat goes on. We've still got cars on the starting line, including Tony Schumacher and Shirley Muldowney. Shirley in the left lane, or in the right lane, I should say. These two have never met in competition, and Shirley just come off a career best 4:58. Schumacher takes it with a 4:64. In fact, it's a hole shot by 4/1000th of a second. Tony cuts a 4:65 like Shirley, a 5:01.
Well, Tony Schumacher did his job, had almost 400ths of a second off the starting line, and he needed it. Shirley was in the other lane, got a little bit close to the center. I think she had to lost a little bit of time there when she got it out of the groove. Let's see if we can tell right here. Launches the car, the front end's up in the air. About where the clutch comes in, the car's going to make a move towards the center. It's going to get out of the groove. Did not smoke the tires, but you're losing time because you're spinning the tires more than normal. It's not quite hooked up. Probably cost her the race.
And she ran 322 miles an hour. That is a career best speed. So she has a great weekend, even though she went out here in round number 2. We got to take a break. That's Tony Pedregon's pit, and there's a very happy Don the Snake Prudhomme. Stay with us. We're coming back. Time now for Doug Herbert, #1 qualifier. He's pumped himself up. He's in that left lane. He'll be up against Darrell Russell. And this, we talk about the championship, this has got big points implications. Russell is 6th in the points. Herbert is 7th. They're separated by 65.
Yeah, and Wayne Dupuis and Darrell Russell smoked the tires the previous round and through the middle. They need to hook it up. They want to get around Doug Herbert.
Pitches the blower at the far end. 461 at 293. That is a repeat of his qualifying performance when he actually went low, but he did engine damage then as well.
Yeah, almost identical, Marty. I mean, had good numbers. This was on a very good run. Not as good as his 451 run, but this thing was going to probably run a 456, 457. But we're going to see right down here, it goes over those bumps. Look at that thing arching a little bit. See, it's just almost identical to the other thing. We saw a cylinder go out, and right after the cylinder goes out, then we see the supercharger launch off it. Let's take one more look at it as it comes down there. Look on the left side of the engine. You saw a little flash of fire just before the supercharger launched off. They dropped an intake valve the last time that caused that. I have to imagine, I can't imagine what happened there.
Let's go to Bill.
You're looking at 4 combined NHRA Top Fuel Championships, and if you want to know what the sport is all about, you're looking at our past, our present, and our future. Tony, on a hole shot, you beat one of the great female drivers of all time.
Yeah, what an outstanding. Just to be able to run her was incredible. And to go in, I went in a little deep. You know, when both of our cars ran first round, we ran just a few thousandths apart, and you need every inch, so we had to go in a little deep. Outstanding run. It wasn't a hole shot. I just went in deeper. It's easy to change the numbers. Fact is, we won. The Army's going to the second round, but what an outstanding race. That's what this sport's all about.
And the fastest speed you've ever run, Shirley, you still got it.
What did it run?
3:22.
All right. I knew it was there. You know, am I going to get him? No, I don't think so. But I knew it was good enough. And a heck of a good drag race for the fans.
And we hope to see you next year.
I hope so, too. We'll talk to Mac Tools. We'll talk to Fred Wagenhals and see what they've got up their sleeve. Proud of you. Go get him, bud.
Well, it is definitely great to see Shirley Muldowney having such a strong performance, both ET and speed, career best. Back at the starting line, a rematch from 2 weeks ago. And there's the KISS car of Doug Coletta, celebrating 30 years of rock and roll. They're carrying the KISS colors. And of course, Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley here today again. They were there yesterday. And Andrew Cowan, he lost to him at Dallas 2 weeks ago. And here comes Larry Dixon with 400,000 smackers in his pocket. Of course, he doesn't get the real check until November 11th, but I think he can wait. Coletta goes up in smoke, and Cowan goes 462 at 321. And that is a bit of a surprise because Coletta had been running so strong.
That is a big surprise. We saw Darrell Russell do the same thing, smoke the tires right at the head of the throttle. Andrew Cowan, on the other hand, that thing was hooked up. Ran better than the numbers. He was in deep, almost put the top light out. It's worth about 500ths in a lap time, so this was probably about a 457, 458 pass. 272 miles an hour through the 8th. Mike Green is making some horsepower in that car. Look at that thing arched up, run down the other end, starts to put some cylinders out. Speed was down a little bit from the first run of 328. They only went 321, but still a great run.
And listen to the crowd saluting their new Top Fuel champion. Larry talking on the public address system, and look at this crowd. Great crowd has turned out here today at Las Vegas Motor Speedway at the Strip. And Larry getting a much-deserved round of applause. So as we take a look forward to the semifinals, lane choice goes to Doug Herbert over Tony Schumacher by 3/100ths, and Larry Dixon over Andrew Cowan. When we come back, it'll be a funny car. Don't forget, in 2 weeks, we'll be at Pomona for the Automobile Club of Southern California Finals, and on Monday, November 11th, at the Kodak Theater in Hollywood, the awards show, and that is open to the public, so we hope to see you there. Time now to take a look at Funny Car, and it will be a big matchup between Sarver and Wilkerson, with Bruce having the lane choice, Force and Dencham. Gary's got the lane choice there. T-Ped with the choice over Del Worsham, and the one we're getting ready for, Ron Capps has the lane choice over with Bazemore, and Capps has taken the left lane. And for this team, after the explosion they had to come back the way they have, has been quite impressive. For Bazemore, they haven't been to the semifinals since, well, that was back at Reading. Goes 488 at 317. You saw Bays blaze the hides, and that's going to send him home to Indianapolis. Let's take another look at Ron's run.
Boy, Ron Capps and the Ace McCullough, they're looking pretty good. I mean, Ron had a great reaction time, 471, had whipped by almost 200ths of a second off the starting line, and then just marches through the middle. I mean, they're not real aggressive. I mean, 255 miles an hour in the 8th. Not bad either, but the car stuck in the groove. Ron's a great driver at being able to stick that thing in the middle of the groove, and it runs a 488 to back up his 489 from the first round.
Well, remember, it was Ron Capps that won this race a year ago, and as he goes blowing by our speed camera. Now it's time for our next pair of Funny Car, and that'll be #1 qualifier Bruce Sarver against Tim Wilkerson. Sarver beat Wilkerson the last time they met. That was back in Memphis. Right now, Sarver over in that left lane trying to continue the momentum after the big explosion from Friday night. Now, let's shift gears for a moment. Get on two wheels. Parker?
Marty, I'm with Angel Savoy, two-time NHRA champion, one step closer to being a three-time champion.
It's getting exciting. I'm having a lot of fun. We couldn't ask for better weather here in Las Vegas. You know, the great thing would be to see this Mohegan Sun motorcycle in the winner's circle in Las Vegas on top of winning the third championship. I mean, come on, God, stick with me. I'm saying my prayers, believe me.
She's awfully calm, Marty, for someone that's got so much at stake.
Well, it's always a little bit easier when you've got a 170-plus point lead and only 7 rounds of racing left. For Tim Wilkerson, this team trying to gear up for next year, where Levi Ray and Shoup is coming on board full-time. They'll be out at every single of the event of the 23 NHRA Powerade Tour. And for the Whitecap Toyota, they're still looking for their first victory.
And I think they got a good shot at it. We've seen Bruce able to run the big numbers. He was on that great run on Friday night. Alan Johnson came back and backed the thing off, went down the track, ran a 487, came back in the last qualifying shot, stepped it up for low ET at a 477. Then first round, I think he played it smart. I think he set it back up the way they ran first session on Saturday when they ran that 487 and did it again and got the win. I think he's probably going to keep the combination about the same, just to try to get that thing to the other end. Hopefully Bruce can do his job on the starting line and get the win for him.
With a fire at the far end. He goes 488 at 311. You saw what happened to Sarver. He blew the burst panel right off the starting line. And it still looks like there may be some fire under there.
Looked like he just dropped the header off the left side of the motors. I think Marty's was dragging on the ground, throwing all them sparks up there. But that was actually a pretty good run.
All right, let's go back and take another look. I think you're right on target, too. I'm seeing nothing else going on underneath. Here's what happened to Bruce.
I mean, this was a little bit of a surprise. I mean, Alan Johnson's always very aggressive on his tune-up, but I thought they had a pretty good handle. Once again, we see the burst panel come out, just like we saw in the final round in Dallas 2 weeks ago when he smoked the tires once again at the hit of the throttle, tried to get to recover, and then backfired the supercharger. Ended his day right there.
And coming up, when we get this cleaned up, and we do have a mess to clean up, it will be Tony Pedregon and John Force.
It's up for grabs. Pedregon or John Force. Looks like I've hired my own assassin. I'm kind of rooting for Pedregon. Go Tom. You want to believe that?
Back track side, we're going to try and go over 300 miles an hour with 4 wheels. John Force, Gary Dencham. Dencham has the lane choice, is in the left lane. And he's up against the boss, and it's now an important round for both these teams. Of course, Gary just signed a new contract. He will be back with the team. Celebrated his 56th birthday last Sunday, so a birthday present for him would be another victory.
Yeah, and the car looks very good. It's been very consistent and has improved on every single pass he's made down this racetrack this weekend. He started out at a 490, came back with an 87, 83, 82, and then first round a 481. So John Force is going to have his work cut out for him.
Well, these guys have met 25 times. John has won 22 of them. Last time Gary beat John was at the finals at Dallas 1 year ago. Dencham's up in smoke, and Force runs a 480 at 323. And I can hear all the Force critics right now saying, wait a minute, Dencham didn't smoke the tires all week long. All of a sudden he did. And the only thing I can say in defense is neither did Kenny Bernstein, and he lost in the first round.
Well, that's right. But, those are the facts, Marty. And, John Force, it would have been very tough for Gary Dencham. John had 3/3 of a second off the starting line. So Gary Dencham would have had to run a 477 to beat John, because John made a great run. 480, had the candles lit all the way down to 323 miles an hour.
Dave Riggs.
But, Marty, let's also say to the naysayers that a 480 323 is pretty darn stout.
Well, they kind of threw down the gauntlet the run before, so we knew we had to step up. We were going to beat them, and they had lane choice, and, we just wanted to, make a good race out of it, and, best man wins. So, hey, turned out in our favor day with John's car, but, hey, hate to take a win at our teammates' expense, but, hey, we'll take it, and happy about it.
Not the guy you wanted to race in that situation, and not the way you wanted to beat him.
No, it hurts you because we wanted to move him up to number 3 in the points, and we got to have Tony try to help us there to get out Worsham, but then Tony's against me, so you just, multi-car teams can help you, but they can hurt you sometimes. But he's a good racer, and he'll be back at Pomona, and we do this for Fadal and AAA and all these guys, and all pro bumper to bumper, they pay the bills, and we'll take a win here. Probably my worst of the year, Mikey. My worst.
Believe him.
Well, that 480 is 8/100ths quicker than either Wilkerson or Ron Capps ran, and they won their round. So right now the pressure's on Tony Pedregon, and he and the Kissmobile are about ready to fly down that left lane against Del Worsham. The last 2 times these guys have met, Tony has won. It was back at round 2 at Chicago where Tony went on to win the race, and the final at Memphis. T-Pen maintains the pace, goes 489, 307, and he wins in a whole shot. He cut a 437 light to Dell's 503.
Wow. Tony's on his game. I mean, let's face it, he was in a little bit deep, which helps your reaction time, but still, 430 even being in deep, that's a good reaction time. Del Worsham, 5.0 is not bad for a funny car. He was coming on strong on the other end, 317 miles an hour, but it wasn't enough to catch Tony. You see right here, he's running very well early in the run. Probably put a cylinder out towards the other end, caught us, got the speed way down to 307, but luckily enough for him, it was still enough to hold off Del Worsham, who was charging hard on the other end.
Well, remember, he lost the last race on a whole shot. This one is his 4th win of the year. Take a look at the current points, and it stays the same. 11 separating John and Tony. You get 20 points for every round that you march onward. Let's take a look at the semifinals. Show you who's going to have the lane choice. John Force over Tim Wilkerson by 8/100ths, and Ron Capps by 1/100th over Tony Pedregon. Could that mean the difference? We'll find out. There's Craig Treble. His hopes are still alive. They're faint, but they're still there. Back here at the ACDelco NHRA Nationals. Round 22 of the NHRA Powerade Drag Racing Series. Let's put a period on Funny Car and talk to the man of that machine right there. Tony Pedregon is with Bill Stevens.
Nothing's been decided yet, Tony, but if indeed you go on to win the championship, I'm voting that to be one of the most critical rounds of the year for you on a whole shot. You beat Del Worsham with a 437 light.
Oh, believe it or not, they're all important. And it's like when the Cowboys, when Jackie Smith or whatever his name was dropped the pass, there's other guys there's other things that play a part. But when it comes down to it, you got to rely on your instinct. And we know that we've got a good running car, and everybody just seems to be taking shots at us. And I don't want to let the team down again. They've been behind me. I'm going to be, but we need to pull together as a team. And as long as we can do that, we might be able to stay with them.
John Forrest looks like he's putting a for sale sign on that Mustang.
Take a look now at the ladder for Pro Stock as we get ready to show you what happened in round 2. KJ over AJ in the lane choice. Krischer over Jake Coughlin. WJ over Tom Hammonds, and Greg Stanfield over Gene Wilson. How did it shake out? Well, let's bring Stanfield and Wilson to the line. Greg in the left lane. Gene Wilson in the right lane. Stanfield's only ever made one semifinal in his Pro Stock career. That is until right now. He goes 694 at 198 to Wilson's 697. And then what about number 1 qualifier Kurt Johnson? He's running the Kiss car over in that left lane. Well, Alan Johnson kissed him off by 7/100ths off the starting line. A whole shot for AJ, 696 to KJ, 692. And Kurt, that 692 was low for the round, and he's on the trailer. How about Dad, Warren Johnson, Tommy Hammonds? Well, WJ goes to 693 at 199 to Tommy's 696 at 197. So Father advances. And Ron Krischer and Jake Coughlin, the new champion of 2002, edges Krischer 694 at 198 to a 695 also at 198 miles an hour. So here are the matchups. Lane choice goes to Jeg over Alan Johnson and WJ over Greg Stanfield. Back with more after this. Along with Mike Dunn, Bill Stevens, Dave Reef, and Parker Johnstone, I'm Marty Reed, and we're glad you're with us here at the ACDelco NHRA Nationals here at the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Here's how Pro Stock Bike shakes out for round 2. Matt Hines and Antron Brown have lane choice, as does Angel Savoy and Craig Treble, and of course those are the 2 combatants for the championship. And Right now, it is Craig Treble. He must keep pace. He has to keep winning. Reggie Showers will be in the right lane. Dave?
And you can't say he's not trying everything possible. By the time he staged this bike in the first round, it was on fire. It rounded the corner with an orange glow, but he drove it down the strip anyway.
And Reggie gives him a gift. Showers goes red. And Treble runs a 7:30. So Craig has moved into the semifinals doing exactly what he has to do at 181 miles an hour. And now he throws the gauntlet back on Angel Savoy. You want to know why this young lady is competing for her possible third straight championship? She has made every semifinal since Brainerd of 2001.
You know, that's an amazing stat for any class. You know, pro stock bike, very, very competitive, but she just does a great job. I mean, she gets a little flustered every now and then, but she seems to be able to come back and put it all together when she really, really needs it. She's able to rise to the occasion. She's picked the right-hand lane. It kind of surprises me. She did it in the previous round because there's definitely more of a bump in that right-hand lane, but obviously they see something that they like over there.
Gino Scali, the only Kawasaki in the field, over in the left lane. Of course, Gino picked up a victory earlier this year, the first for Kawasaki. And who's going to go in first? Both top bulbs are lit. Now Angel's in. And Angel was a little late off the line, but a 7:29 at 182 makes it another trip to the semifinals. Bill?
Well, now, as he exchanges a little one-liner with Reggie Showers, you know what you got to do in the next round now.
Yeah, I definitely do. I don't know what she ran. I don't really care. We're going to do our own thing in our own lane, get this Matco Tools going rounds. You know, we had a real challenge last round. We come around the corner, the bike was on fire. Had a little electrical gremlin, and it arced out up against this carbon fiber, but Calvin fixed this thing up and just picked up 100 from the last round, so we'll take this Matco Tools Suzuki a couple more rounds.
The only thing that can keep Angel from clinching the championship is Craig Treble in the next round.
Let's show you the rest of the second round here at Pro Stock Bike. Sean Gann and Antron Brown. And it's Gann in the left lane. 7:39 at 185 to Antron 7:42 at 183. So Sean Gann, who won here last year, is on to the semifinals. Fred Camarena, Matt Hines. Camarena took a shot at the tree. He missed. Matt goes 7:29 at 188. Camarena wouldn't have stood a chance with that kind of number by Matt. So Matt is into the semifinals as well. In fact, he'll have the lane choice by a full 10th over Sean Gann. And then in the other matchup, it'll be Angel Savoy in the showdown for the championship with the lane choice over Craig Treble. When we come back, it's Top Fuel, and we come back to the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Looking at a nighttime view of Las Vegas. We're out at the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and time for Top Fuel semifinals will be Doug Herbert, Tony Schumacher, Andrew Cowan, or Larry Dixon. Moving on to the finals. First up, it is the Army of One, Tony Schumacher, looking to go to his 25th final and deny Doug Herbert his opportunity to go to his 16th career final.
This is a great matchup here, Marty. Doug Herbert's been running very well. He's had problems that we've seen on the other end. You know, they dropped an intake valve. What happens when that intake valve comes off? It basically allows the fire to ignite the fuel inside the manifold and launch that supercharger. Hasn't been able to get to the other end. Tony Schumacher, on the other hand, this will be the first time today that he's been in that right-hand lane. But this car's ran very good. He ran a 4:58 qualifying in that lane. I'm sure they're looking at those records, and hopefully they can do the same thing here and get around Doug Herbert.
Goes up in smoke, and Schumacher takes the win light with a 4:64 at 3:17. So Tony is taking the U.S. Army to his 5th final of 2002. Let's take another look.
Good job here for this team. Right down the racetrack, Tony Schumacher, 0.02 of a second off the starting line. You saw Doug Herbert start to pull up even with him, then smoke the tires. After that, it was all Tony. Went down the racetrack, nice, smooth, easy run. 464, had a cylinder out on the left-hand side just before the finish line, still went 317 miles per hour.
And time now for our track fact. Track Fact, brought to you by Suzuki Motorcycle.
And this week's Track Fact focuses on Ron Capps, a guy who's been through the grinder in the last 2 national events in this race car. 2 weeks, national events ago in Chicago, he beat John Force before his funny car tried to turn into an airplane. Then, next up in Dallas, who will ever forget the gigantic explosion that he went through, only to come here, get in the Thunderbirds, go 9.2 Gs. The fact is, Ron Capps will not win the Powerade Funny Car Championship, but he is very, very enthusiastic about his role here as spoiler as he gets set to go up against John Force's team car, Tony Pedregon.
Thanks, Dave. The engines have been lit on the next pair of top fuelers. You're looking at the new top fuel champion, Larry Dixon. He'll be in the left lane. Andrew Cowan will be over in the right lane.
Man, just another indication, Tony, since Brainerd, that this car's the real deal.
Yeah, no question about it. And I rolled it in a little deeper there. Again, it was a tight race, or it was going to be a tight race, from the previous round. So you need to take up those inches on the start line. Didn't feel like I was that on the start line, but again, it's a win, and it's real important now with Coletta going out. We're back in third, and we need to take that lead. We need to take a commanding lead going into Pomona. We want to finish the season out third. And for the Army, Gates Belts, Matco Tools, all the great guys helping out. This has been a tough year, but another final.
To Parker.
Bill, our #1 qualifier, Doug, things were going so well, but then
a little bit of tire smoke will ruin your whole day, I'll tell you. That's the way it goes. Snap-on car's running good today. Wes Cerny's, been tuning the car. Johnny's been doing a good job making everything right. And, we still got 2 races at Pomona we can try and win. So
you win some, you lose some. Dave?
And Parker, what is it about Dick LaHaye? When the Top Fuel purse went to $100,000 in '87, he won it as a driver. When it went to $150,000 in '94, he won with Scott Coletta. Same story in '95 when it went to $200,000, and now it's up to $400,000. He's again championship victory lane with Larry Dixon.
Yeah, and you heard Doug Herbert mention 2 races at Pomona. That's because we've got the Budweiser Shootout, another $100 grand, and Larry Dixon will be in that one as well. Goes red, and Dixon runs 4.62, and Andrew's going to be kicking himself. A 4.59 at 3.27. He throws it away, and Larry Dixon moves in to his 47th career final and 14th of 2002, and he's going to have the lane choice by 2 100ths over Tony Schumacher. We've still got a championship to decide in Funny Car, and that's where we're heading next when we come back. Light chip, and you can see how deep Cowan staged.
Yeah, and unfortunately for him, he missed, cost him the race, and that insult to injury drove it down through there and ran that great 4.59 at 3.27.
And there's the champ with Bill.
Yeah, we got a championship, but there's still a race out there, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to keep your priorities straight. I mean, you come into these deals, you figure if you can win the race, you get the points, and that's what we're still trying to do. We got the championship, sewed up early, which was kind of a bonus, but now it's now we're into the money round. We want to take it home. I mean, if it's up for grabs, we've got to go for it. Miller Lite team doing a great job. Donnie and the guys brought home a champ. I've been working on cars since 1986, the first time I've ever been on a championship team, so I'm just, I'm happy right now.
He's a racer.
And he's a darn good one. Take a look at the semifinal matchups in Funny Car. Ron Capps, and Tony Pedregon, and Tim Wilkerson, and John Force going to decide who gets to move on to the finals here in Las Vegas. And there is the KISS car. Celebrating 30 years of rock and roll with KISS. And Tony Pedregon is going to try and take it to the finals. There's John Medlin and Dickie Venables. They'll be over in the right lane. And Capps, Ron has a winning record against Tony. 13 up, 11 down. In fact, the last time these two hooked up was the finals at Joliet just a few weeks ago. Tony beat Capps in that one.
And Ron looks really good today. A 489 first round, 88 last round, and he's also has lane choice.
Bill?
It's really ironic. You know, Tony Pedregon came in here in 1996 as a rookie, Caps the following year, and right from the beginning was up to Tony to try to keep Caps off of John Force. Now he's racing John Caps to try to get around John Force.
At the stripe, a good close race, and Tony Pedregon is into the finals. 492 at 310. Ron runs a 496 at 297.
Boy, this was just a good side-by-side drag race. Ron Capps had 1/100th of a second off of the starting line. Would have thought that might have given him a shot at win, especially since Tony Pedregon only ran a 492. It would surprise me that they fell off that much. But give it to Tony Pedregon. He's been good all weekend.
You can see on the front half, all through till half track, it was Ron Capps, but at the stripe, it was Tony Pedregon as he goes on to his 40th career final. And will he take the points lead? Well, we'll find out. So now, can John Force keep pace with Tony Pedregon? Let's first go to the far end, Bill.
I'm watching your boss, John Force, and he's pacing. And he's over the top, and you're just smoothly going down the racetrack.
I'm bottling it up all inside of me, but we're just trying to keep pace with him. I talked to my brother Cruz. He said the way you beat John is you got to mow through the competition. That's the bottom line, and we're happy running these KISS cars. Action Collectible, Caliber Collision did a tremendous job painting all of our cars all year, and we just need to keep this pace up, and if we get John, bottom line is we got to beat him.
Let's find out if he will get John.
And John has taken the right lane again. Big surprise, but that's where he won last time out. Well, guess what? It's going to be an all-Force team final. 484. In fact, by 2 1/1000ths, it's a whole shot as Tim Wilkerson cut a 526 light to John's 468. So as you take a look at this, John going to his 8th final of 2002, his 162nd career final, and the points are still the same. It's 11 with a head-to-head matchup to come. Back here at the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and the electronics leader Sanyo is bringing us our aerial pictures from the Sanyo Lightship. Sanyo leading the way. And we go to semifinals in Pro Stock. Will it be Alan Johnson or the newly crowned champ Jake Coughlin, or Warren Johnson or Greg Stanfield moving on to the finals? And first up, it will be AJ and Jake Coughlin. And Jake's over in the left lane with the lane choice. These guys have met 3 times prior this year. All 3 decided on hole shots. And the last time out, it was Alan's turn to take the win light first. AJ goes red. And gives away a 695.
98 with a 4, 198.23. You got it.
Let's go on board with Jake.
Well, let's watch Jake here. I mean, I think he might have missed some ship points. I think he probably saw that red light and threw him off just a little bit, and that's why we lost a little bit of ET. Alan Johnson, that was just missed it by 2/1000ths of a second. Jake, he's still right there, 418. He was only 18 thousandths off perfect. But you know what? At 2/1000ths, sent him home.
And Bill has John Force as we put a period on Funny Car.
The driver who wins this race, John, will leave here with the points lead.
Yeah, don't put that in my head, because that don't mean that he's going to win the championship. Pedregon's got to prove himself. I got to prove myself. I had to prove myself right here. This kid's got a great race car here. Wilkerson ought to give him a little bit of credit. A race can be won or lost on the starting line or by a car or a blower belt. This whole ball game's a whole lot of luck. And you know, what can I say? You just going to, ESPN going to keep screwing with the old man? I'm going to screw back with you.
John, it is the story. It is what everybody is focused on. It's called a championship. Now, Warren Johnson in the left lane and Greg Stanfield in the right. WJ's last final was his win back at Bristol. Greg Stanfield's never been to a final in Pro Stock. Stanfield goes red. And Warren runs a 693 at 198, so it's going to be Warren with the lane choice over Jake Coughlin by 3, or should I say 5 1/100ths of a second, as there it is. As we've got to take a commercial break, when we come back, we'll focus on Pro Stock bikes. #1 qualifier. Sean Gann, defending event winner here at Las Vegas. The first pair out of the gate here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway at the Strip in the semifinals for Pro Stock Bike.
You know, we see a lot of red lights in Pro Stock. And, you know, these Pro Stock bikes are even more prone to red light because, remember, these bikes only weighing 600 pounds. They actually move the first 12 inches quicker than any of the pro categories, so they are prone to be able to red light. They're going to have to be very, very cautious to not red light, but yet not wait too long and be late. So and we've seen Matt Hines a number of times jump the gun a little bit early, but boy, he's got a strong bike today.
Well, he does. He's the new track record holder at 721 and a speed mark of 191 here at the Strip. Guess what? Sean goes red. And Matt even falls off his pace a little bit from prior runs. He runs a 7:33 at 183, and the defending event winner is out of here on his 5th foul of the year. Now, what about Craig Treble and Angel Savoy? Well, this is the matchup we've been waiting for in Pro Stock Bike. There is the defending champ looking to go for her 3rd straight title in the row, and she's adjusting the pedals and getting ready to go. She's going to be over in the left lane. Now, remember what happens here. If that man right there does not win this race, championship is over. Angel would clinch.
Well, Angel's been choosing the right lane when she's had lane choice. She had lane choice again, but she's chosen the left lane. Kind of makes me wonder. Another thing that the Pro Stock bikes have to watch is the way that sun sets and the way they're actually going to see the tree. Because if it gets, if the sun's shaded over there, it might be too bright. They might be a concern for the red light. We'll have to see what happens.
Craig has won the 3 of the other 4, and he goes red. Championship over. There's your 3-time winner, Angel Savoy on the team.
28. You had him covered, too. Okay, talk to me, girl. Talk to me, girl.
I don't think Angel wants to say anything right now.
Win 28, you are the champion.
I don't even know how I did after that.
Awesome job, girl. Awesome job. Good, you need him up. You've got lane choice for the final.
Well, you heard all the details. Let's check in with Dave.
For Angel Savoy, her 3rd championship. For George Bryce and Star Racing, your 6th. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. 6 championships. My little hat says 5. Check it out, guys. We're getting new hats. Angel, she's so cool. I was so proud of her being so calm and cool up there. The guys at the shop for giving us this horsepower and performance. And the guys at Mohegan Sun, how about winning the championship in Vegas? Awesome. Thanks, everybody in Uncasville, Connecticut. Thank you very much.
After a year like that, unbelievable stuff, Bill.
Only one other bike rider has ever won 3 straight championships, Matt Hines, and only one other woman has ever won 3 titles. Angel, you join them both.
Oh, I know that, everybody's been talking about the year I've had, but I got to tell you, I have been put through several tests this year, both financially and personally and professionally and spiritually. I mean, there's more going on in my personal life right now than I care to talk about. So just the fact that my team, Star Racing and Mohegan Sun, even made it this far this year, I mean, I'm definitely blessed by the Lord above. I mean, I am a walking, talking, living proof that you can do whatever you want to do as long as you have faith, and it took a lot of faith to get through this year.
She is a 3-time champ.
And on her way to her 43rd final, and she'll go up against an old nemesis, Matt Hines, in his 46th. Angel, a 3-time champion. She joins Shirley Muldowney. Almost dead even off the line. And Angel Savoy has defended. And there is Angel getting the check.
Wait so long.
Let's go to Parker.
Marty, the Pro Stock final, well, it'll be last year's champion with newly crowned this year's champion. Warren Johnson versus Jeggy. And Jeggy, it's been a big day for you. You're looking for 7 from 10 now of winning, going for that 8th win in the past 11 races. Boy, that's just a huge stat.
Yeah, it would be. You know, I know Warren will be tough. His whole GM Performance team's run extremely well here this weekend, and but we're looking to get the Chevy Cavalier into the winner's circle again in 2002 here, and see if we can't continue that roll. We got a great team behind us and a great racetrack today, so watch out.
And the driver that's still carrying that #1 badge, Warren, can you stop this man?
Well, first of all, congratulations to Jegs and her whole operation for doing an excellent job winning the championship. But yeah, I think we're on a road to recovery as far as our team performance-wise. Now it's just a matter of getting one thing at a time, get the performance there, then figure out how to win a race.
Marty?
And we've got to head to break, guys. It's going to be a dandy final here at the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It has been an eventful affair. You don't want to miss the finals.
TSN, Canada's sports leader.
If you look at the Luxor Hotel, we'll tell you we've got to take one more commercial break. But when we come back, it will be live, and we will be showing you all the finals without commercial interruption, so don't go away. And we're back live. No, we're not going to be fighting in the air. We're going to be fighting on the pavement here at the ACDelco NHRA Nationals at the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. 4 professional categories. All of our 3 new champions, including the 2 contenders in the last division, will be in the finals. And it's starting off with Pro Stock Bike. It pits Angel Savoy, the 3-time champion, against Matt Hines, another 3-time champion, the only other in the bike category. And Matt Hines in the right lane beat Angel back at Denver. It's his only win of the year, and it was a win over Angel as well.
Boy, you got to love this matchup. Both of these riders always rise to the occasion. A lot of red lights we see. I remember back in Atlanta in that final round where they had a 4:00 light for Matt Hines to Angel's 4:02. So to say that they get up for each other would be an understatement.
Well, it's their 3rd final here in 2002. The other 2, besides the one that Matt won in Denver, those 2 went to Angel. And she's trying to go for her 3rd race win in a row. She's won the last 2 events on the tour.
Angel had lane choice. She took the left lane. She likes it. But Matt Hines, he's taking the right lane every time he had lane choice. So both riders are in the lanes that they prefer.
Big round for Matt also. He wins this race. He moves ahead of Antron Brown into 3rd place in the points championship chase. And that's money at the end of the year. 4:08 light for Angel. Making 3 wins in a row. 7:24. It's a whole shot for Angel. She was quicker off the line by 3/100ths.
You win 24. You are the man. 4 shot secret. You go, girl. 24-21.
And there's George Bryce. That's who you hear talking on the radio. Matt ran a quicker, but losing 7:21.
Boy, Angel stepped up when she needed him. 4:08, 8,000 from perfect. Look at Matt Hines. He's coming on strong, but that jump off the starting line was enough to give Angel the win by that much.
It is her first whole shot win of 2002. She couldn't have picked a better time.
It's great. You know, she's done the job. She wasn't cutting the great lights in the earlier rounds, but she didn't need it. She knew in the final she was going to need to get that light. She drilled the tree, 4:08, and got the win. Great job.
Time now for Pro Stock, the factory hot rods. Will it be the 2001 champion, Warren Johnson, or the new 2002 champion, Jake Coughlin? And there is Jake. We're on board with him. And at the far end, Bill is with Angel.
The new champ, 4:08 light. Your 7:24 beat his 7:21. Your team owner said you're the man, but I don't think you could pass the physical.
That's the way I like to win, man. I mean, of course I want to have the fastest motorcycle out there, but you know, that shows that the driver can win every once in a while too. You know what was really great about today though is that I'm driving the Mohegan Sun Casino motorcycle in Las Vegas in the winner's circle. We're going to be celebrating the championship at Mohegan Sun, so anybody who wants to come on.
Jake Coughlin trying for his 8th win in 11 races. Warren just trying to win his 2nd event of 2002. 4:01 light for Coughlin. And at the stripe, another whole shot.
You got it, and you did it. A 96. Your 96 to his 92. Way to go, Jake. That's a true champion. Thank you, John. Hell of a job this weekend. Hope you're listening, Karen. I love you, baby.
Dave, this is Jed's 12th hole shot win of the year and WJ's 13th hole shot loss. Unreal.
And I don't know what they're celebrating more, the fact that they just won this thing and secured the championship and did all that, or the 401 life.
I'll tell you what, if we got a driver, I mean, this guy is unreal, and the team's great, and that one was for my mom. Don't forget, Gaga.
2 champions, 2 wins so far.
Jenny Coughlin is 96 years old, watching in Columbus, Ohio, and I bet you she's up out of the chair right now.
Man, is there any question why this man is the Powerade champion for 2002? 401, 1,000th of a second from perfect, and he needed it because Warren Johnson was coming on strong.
Time now for Funny Car, and the final will have John Force, the points leader by 11 over his teammate Tony Pedregon. And these guys have some history. 4 races this year between them in 2002. Force lost to Tony at Topeka, but beat him at St. Louis and Sonoma. And there is the championship scenario. The winner of this race takes the points lead into the final race of the year 2 weeks from now. Let's go to the far end. First, here's Bill.
Oh, just another one of those 401 reaction times, and your 96 beat his 92. Perfect end to a perfect day, Jay.
Yeah, it was a perfect day, and you know, Warren's tough. You know, the GM Performance car is always running strong, but you know, we got to thank ACDelco for putting on a great race this weekend. Team Jegs locked up the first Powerade championship today in Pro Stock. We got to thank them, and just a wonderful year, a wonderful day today, and I got to thank my family because without their support, I couldn't do this. And Jake and Karen, I'll see you in a little bit. I love you guys.
Down to Dave.
Bill, I know inquiring minds wants to know if Tony Pedregon has ever led the Powerade point standings in his career. And he has. It came back in 1999 when he won the Winter Nationals in Pomona, California. But as far as taking points lead away from John Force, if he should do it now, he will be only the 9th different driver in the last 13 seasons to take the lead away from the champion.
Here's the way it breaks down by lane. Almost even.
And John Force took that right lane because he ran that big 480 in the second round. They saw something they liked. So once again, just like a Pro Stock bike, each driver is in their preferred lane.
And John Medlin looking for some more performance, put on a new blower. We're going to find out if it works. Winner takes the points lead. Here we go. It's John Force, a 482 at 305. And Tony's right behind him at 486. No one can say that Tony laid down for the boss on this one. What a race.
And John Force has said, you want the championship, big boy, you got to come around me, and you guys proved that point today.
Well, you know, things went real good for us today. You know, we can have a little fun from now to the end of the season because no matter which one of our cars wins the championship, we got the money.
I don't know how much fun you're going to have, though, but this one's going to be big-time fun when we get to Pomona.
Win number 106 for John Force and a 31-point lead heading into Pomona.
What a great side-by-side run. Both drivers identical reaction time, 460 on the light. Both of them were in deep. They were going for it. John Force was really in deep, but you see there right at the 300-foot mark, that's where he started to make the difference. Both of them ran over 260 miles an hour in the 8th. Tony Pedregon right here went 261 miles an hour at the 8th mile. They were both on kill for this final round.
Time now for our final race of the day. Top Fuel, will it be the 1999 champ? That's Tony Schumacher, or the 2002 newly crowned Larry Dixon. And there is Larry. If he wins, he ties Gary Scelzi for most wins in a single season. It would be his 9th. Scelzi did it back in 2000. He also would tie Scelzi for 5th on the all-time win list at 25. So a little history could be made here. And as Tony does the burnout in the Army of One, there are the points, and let's go to Bill.
As good a drag race as we have seen all year.
Well, that's what we promised him. I got to gear up for this kid. I love this kid. He's so emotional, but we won together today. We share the money. We give the fans what we promised we'd give them, and he's going to whip my ass at Pomona. I know it's coming. Ain't it done, Pedregon? It's coming.
Tony, a great race.
He's got a shave for starters, but it was a good race. I was hoping I didn't see him, didn't hear him. the belt came off, I think it would have been a lot closer than that. But like he said, it's not over. We can close the gap in qualifying points. Overall, it was a great weekend, and we're living up to what we said we'd do. We deliver some good racing here.
In 2 weeks, the final chapter.
Yeah, it's basically a little more than a round and a half. And as far as shaving, Tony, you could ask John about Gene Simmons. I guess Gene gave him a kiss at the ESPN zone last night. Time for the final. There's the new champion. All the pressure's off. They want to go win some races, but there's one more obstacle, and that's that Army car. And that Army machine has done a job on them in 3 finals this year. The Army car's won 2 of them.
Yeah, and the big one at the U.S. Nationals, and I'm sure Larry Dixon and Dick LaHaye remember that. You know, they ran a 462 the previous round. Tony Schumacher ran a 464. This should be a good matchup.
Takes the win light with a 461, putting a cap on the championship day. 320 miles an hour, the 467 at 314. You saw Tony getting a little sideways about half track, and that sachet might have been just enough to cost him the race.
Boy, that was a difference. Larry Dixon, 300ths of a second, had a 440 reaction time. He has been on his game all year long. Already had the championship sewed up and still wants to win. That is why he's a champion. He's been hungry all year. He's got the championship, and he's still hungry. This car was marching through the middle. That was the difference. 270 mile an hour at the 8th versus 265 for Tony, and he pulled away.
One reminder, NHRA Today will be at noon Eastern Time next Sunday on ESPN2. And, of course, get all the recap at 10 o'clock tonight on RPM tonight. There's our schedule from Pomona. 2 weeks from now, qualifying on Saturday and then Sunday. And we'll have the interview with Larry Dixon on RPM tonight. That'll be at 10 o'clock Eastern Time over on ESPN2. That's going to wrap it up for us. Sports Center is coming up next with stories about baseball, of course, the World Series. Mike Dunn, Bill Stevens, Dave Reed, Parker Johnstone, our entire ESPN crew. I'm Marty Reed. Thanks so much for joining us. Our 3 champions also went on to win the race. We'll see you next time we go racing. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.